Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's weekly market update, week of January 23rd, 2017. Now we're doing something a little bit different this week. We're looking at inventory counts so far compared to any of the previous starts over the last 5 years. And what's really interesting is we're looking at how many multiple offers we're seeing right here, right now, today, January 23rd, compared to previous months. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be surprised with current activity. So that and more coming up right next. So have you been thinking of maybe buying a place the next little while, maybe selling your place, moving to the next little while? Well, listen up, because we've got some really interesting information here today that might just help you in that decision making and setting a timeline for yourself. So let's jump right into the market first of all though. We've got 295 condos listing on the west side of Vancouver so far this month, with 127 of those condos selling to an overall listing count of 600 listings. So what that tells us is that we do have a 49% absorption rate, i.e. it's a seller's market. Not as strong as maybe a few months ago back in the spring, summer, but it's still quite strong, and in fact a bit stronger than what it was in the fall. Now, here's the interesting new graphic this week is our number of multiple offers. And so what you'll notice on your screen here is that in January so far, from what we can tell, we have about 39% of the market going into selling at or above asking price, going at multiple offers. And so that's a key note there, because we're coming up from a bit of a dip, and back in the spring we had really high numbers. At one point in June, July, 3.5 out of 5 properties were selling at or above asking. And now, as we've gone into the fall, it kind of slowed down. In December, we had 1 out of 4 properties selling at or above asking, and it seems like here in January we've resumed back into quite busy activity. So the tides seem to be turning, and one question you might ask yourself is, well, why is that happening? And really simply, what we can do is we can just look at inventory counts. So right here what you've got is the last 5 years of real estate inventory for condos on the west side of Vancouver. Now this can apply to other markets as well, and we can talk about that separately. But this is quite generic and does explain what's happening in the marketplace. What you'll see is that we're starting out January with only 600 listings on the market. This time a year ago, that red line on the screen, we started the year with 700 units in the market, and the year before that, 1,200, and the year before that, 1,500, and the year before that, almost 1,600. So gradually, every single year, our inventory just keeps shrinking down. You've got the rest of the year plotted out. Each line represents one of those years. And what you can see is that we had a bit more inventory in the end of summer last year, 2016, and now we've dipped straight down into just having little inventory. So looking into what's going to be happening next little while, the lack of inventory, the lack of people putting their homes on the market is just going to keep driving those multiple offers. So if you're selling, this is a great time, because you've got very little competition in terms of other people selling, and you've got a lot of competition for your home. Likewise, if you're buying, you might think, well, competition, that's not good. But guess what? If that competition continues, it's just going to increase the activity. It's going to increase prices. And so you're better off getting to the market now rather than waiting a few months while we're in the more heated traditional spring market. So no other crystal ball. These are the numbers. That's what we can see. And I would love to help you analyze the numbers, whether it's for the west side of Vancouver, any other area, whether you're buying or selling. All it takes is just an hour of our time, and I'd be happy to sit down with you. So if you have any questions, give me a call. You can call or text me the number right below. And of course, if you like these videos, I hope you do like my Facebook page, because we post here every single week. So until this time next week, have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.